This one is about custom filters. We're going to start by looking at dates in the custom filter dialog box. And we'll have a bunch of preset date filters that we can select from. We can filter on all dates in a given period, and Excel lists an array of periods to select from. And then we're going to look at values in the custom dialog box, where we can, among other things, get the top or the bottom number of items or percentage. And after we filter the values, we can use AutoSum to add a total row at the bottom of the data. And then we'll take a look at text filtering in the custom dialog box and using wildcards to filter data. And then we're going to sort the data after we filter it. To begin, I need to set up the filter. I'll left-click in the data range, left-click the data tab, and then left-click the filter icon, the big funnel in the sort and filter group. I left-click to get the filter drop-down menu, but before I go to the custom auto filter dialog box, I want to point out something. At the bottom of the dialog box, Excel shows the dates with the earliest one displayed first. So I have 2013 followed by 2012, even though, I'm going to click off of this, the dates are actually sorted in the opposite order. So the sort order doesn't establish the order in which the dates are displayed in the dialog box. So to get the custom dialog box, hover over Date Filters, and Excel displays a flyout menu that has a lot of options. I'll left-click the first one, Equals, and Excel displays the custom auto filter dialog box and has populated the first field with equals. It has the cursor blinking in the second field, waiting for me to populate that with a date. And if I left-click the drop-down, I have a lot of other options other than equals. Does not equal, is after, or equal to, and so on. There's a scroll bar. But I'll leave it on equals for now and select my date using the calendar. It defaults to the current date. It's now December 6th, 2012. I'm going to select December 11th, left-click OK, and my filter is applied. To take the filter off, you can clear filter from date and hover again over the date filters. So that's the way the first four options work. Equals, before, after, between. When I select between, Excel populates the custom auto filter dialog box for me. I'm going to cancel out of that and left-click the drop-down again and hover over date filters. There are a lot of presets that are established. I can select anything from tomorrow, today, yesterday. I can select among several weeks, several months, several quarters. I'll go down and left-click this quarter. Excel knows what day it is. We already saw that. When I pulled up the calendar, it said December 6th. And so it uses that point of reference to flesh out all these other date periods that are presets that we can select from. And the way it does that is it populates the custom filter dialog box, which we can pull up by left-clicking custom filter that's at the bottom of the list. I'm going to cancel out of that and show you that there is one more. After I clear the date filter, there is one more array of choices that are displayed, all dates in a period. We get another flyout menu that allows us to choose, as you see, quarters and different months. And now we're going to take a look at values. I'm going to left-click the drop-down and point out that Excel shows the numbers at the bottom of the dialog box in ascending order. It doesn't matter how the data is actually sorted. When it's showing numbers at the bottom in the dialog box, it'll show them in ascending order. So to get the custom auto filter dialog box and to show the number filter options, I hover over number filters and I get a flyout menu that shows me some options. And similar to dates, in the first and second grouping, when I left-click one of these options, equals, I get the custom auto filter dialog box displayed, and the filtering parameter equals is already populated in the field. And I have a lot of other selections to choose from. I can change equals to any one of these other options. And the cursor was blinking in the field where I need to enter a value. Excel provides to me a drop-down list of all the data content that's in that column. I can select one, left-click OK, and I then apply that filter. Left-clicking the drop-down, I can clear the filter, hovering back over the number filters. The items on the bottom, top 10, above average, below average. The above average and below average is self-explanatory, but the top 10 has some functionality, and it is the top 10. This is the default. It's the top 10 items, but you can also change with this drop-down to make at the bottom any one of a number of either items or percentage. I'll leave it at the default, the top 10 items, left-click OK, and Excel applies the filter. Once we apply a filter, we can use AutoSum to add a totals row at the bottom. And instead of the sum function, which we would normally get if we didn't have filtered data, we get the subtotal function. Similar to values and dates, Excel shows the data at the bottom of the drop-down menu in ascending alphabetical order, regardless of how the data is sorted in the column. And I'm going to hover over text filters, and I get a flyout menu that allows me some choices here, equals, does not equal, and so on. And in every case, when I select any one of those choices, I get the custom auto filter dialog box. Since I selected equals, equals is populated in the first field. The cursor was blinking. I need to enter a value. I can use the drop down to select any value and then apply that filter. Left clicking the drop down, I can clear the filter. The next thing I want to talk about is using wildcards. I'm going to use the search functionality to show you the wildcards because I get an immediate result in that my list below automatically is updated for anything I put in the search field. So if I want all the values to begin with B, I can put B there, and so far it shows me all the values or the text strings that contain B. But if I want B and everything to the right of B, I need to use the asterisk, which is a wildcard that's a container for, in this case, anything to the right of B. Backspace a couple of times to get rid of that and show you the other wildcard, which is a question mark. A question mark is a placeholder for any character, but it's just that character. So when I put one question mark in there, I have no items that match the search because I don't have any items that have only one letter in the text string or in the words. Do I have 2? No. I have 3? No. 4? There's my 4-letter words. There's my 5-letter words. There's my 6-letter word, and so on. So using the asterisk and the question mark, you can refine your searching either here or using the custom autofilter dialog box. So what if you want to actually find a question mark or an asterisk? And I've put in both of those in the word advertising that's listed first and the aerospace defense, which is listed third. In order to find either a question mark or an asterisk that's actually contained in the content of your text strings, or your words in this case, you need to precede the search with a tilde, which is on the key to the left of 1. Shift that key, and a tilde looks like that. I want to follow that with a question mark, and I get a match with advertising, which has embedded in it the question mark. So in the filter drop-down menu, we have the ability to sort the data before we apply a filter, but we also can sort the data after we apply a filter. So I've got a filter applied to column D. I can then use the filter drop-down menu to sort the data from A to Z, from Z to A, and if I had colors, which I don't, I could also sort by font color or fill color. So that's using special filters. We looked at the custom autofilter dialog box as it pertains to dates, and we had a flyout menu presented to us that had a lot of preset date filters. We also had another flyout menu that allowed us to quickly filter on all dates in a given period. We looked at the custom autofilter dialog box as it pertains to values, and then we applied AutoSum and added a totals row to the filtered data. We then looked at the custom autofilter dialog box as it pertains to text. We looked at the use of wildcards to conduct a search or to build a filter with, and we also found that we can sort the data after we apply a filter.